today I will share with you the best and my favorite Insta360 One X accessories, starting with the ones I use the most, working my way down. So let's get started. First up is the Insta360 Invisible Selfie Stick, and I recommend this for any 360 camera owner. There are so many different types of shots you can make with it. It's one of the cheapest 360 accessories, and it's really easy to carry around in your pocket. You should definitely check out another video I made called 10 easy shots for a travel vlog video, and in that video I show you 10 cool shots you can make just using the One X and invisible selfie stick. And here is an example video I made just using the One X and the selfie stick. It's really easy to use. Just twist to unlock it and it will extend all the way to 120 centimeters, and then you twist it in the opposite direction to lock it into place. So now you can go ahead and make a hyperlapse or time shift video and many other different types of videos. And then once it's collapsed, it is 28 centimeters, and you can store this really easily away in a small bag. It has a 1/4 inch screw on the bottom, so you can attach it to other 360 camera accessories as well. Overall, the Insta360 Invisible Selfie Stick is one of the thinnest and lightest selfie sticks on the market. It's specifically designed for the One X to give it that invisible effect. So if it's invisible for the One X, then it will be invisible for other 360 cameras as well. If you have a 360 camera with a GoPro finger style mount, then you will need an adapter like this to mount your camera on top of the invisible selfie stick. Insta360's latest selfie stick is called the carbon fiber selfie stick, and this is the smallest, lightest and strongest selfie stick ever made. There are 3 expandable sections, and each section has 2 carbon fiber tubes, and you need to pull and stretch the tubes to lock it into place. The biggest advantage of this selfie stick is that you can move this top stick in any direction you want, which means you can set any angle for the One X and lock it into place. And this is a huge benefit when you're using this selfie stick with other 360 camera accessories. When this selfie stick is fully extended, it is 116 centimeters. That is 4 centimeters shorter than the invisible selfie stick. And even though it's not called the invisible carbon fiber selfie stick, it is still invisible with the One X. The carbon fiber selfie stick collapsed is only 26.5 centimeters, and that is 1.5 centimeters shorter than the invisible selfie stick. The biggest difference between these selfie sticks is the weight. The invisible selfie stick weighs 162 grams and the carbon fiber selfie stick weighs only 95 grams. It is super light. Overall, both these selfie sticks are great, but if I had to pick one for comfort, it has to be the carbon fiber selfie stick because it's just so lightweight. The most common reason for broken 360 cameras is when it gets blown over in the wind, and it's happened to me as well. So the best solution to reduce the chance of your 360 camera getting blown over is to use the Bushman Monopod version 2. I really like this monopod because it's really compact and multifunctional. You can use the legs, counterweight and selfie stick to use it as a monopod. I can just use the legs to get a tiny planet video by setting the camera on the ground, or I can just use the selfie stick by itself and walk around with it. When the selfie stick is fully extended, it will reach 154 centimeters, and when I close the selfie stick, it will be 39.5 centimeters. And it is of course invisible with the One X. Just recently I went to the Isle of Man to do some filmmaking workshops in schools, and in my spare time I wanted to make a short travel vlog video with the One X, and I was only allowed one cabin bag, so I had to be selective about which equipment I took with me. So I took the One X and the Bushman Monopod, and that was it. So here's an example video that I shot in the Isle of Man on the go with the One X and Bushman Monopod. The monopod is a little bit pricey, it costs over 100 euros, but then you need to consider, would you rather pay a $100 repair bill and wait weeks for your 360 camera to arrive, or would you rather invest in the right equipment to reduce the chance of your 360 camera getting blown over? So I'll leave that to you to decide. If you want more information on the Bushman Monopod version 2, then I do have an in-depth review video which I'll include a link in the video description. Overall, the Bushman Monopod version 2 is the best monopod in the industry. It is very well made. I love the fact that it's modular and it has a lot of accessories to go with it. I promise you this is the last selfie stick, but this is the Insta360 extended selfie stick, and this thing is awesome. This is the longest selfie stick you can get. To make it completely invisible, you just need to pull out this black stopper and then pull out the carbon fiber tubes, pull and stretch to lock it, and it will fully extend to 270 centimeters. This selfie stick will help you capture drone-like shots without using a drone. So here are some example videos with the Insta360 extended selfie stick. The best thing about this selfie stick is that you can capture drone-like shots even in a no-fly zone. It is a bit more expensive than the other selfie sticks, but it's still a fraction of the price of an actual drone. Overall, if you want to capture drone-like shots, then get the Insta360 extended selfie stick. Now here are some example bullet time videos. This effect is achieved using the bullet time handle and the invisible selfie stick. So this part of the handle rotates whilst you do small circular motions above your head. You can also make tiny planet videos with your bullet time handle. So here are some examples. To do that effect, all you need to do is screw the 1X on top of your bullet time handle, lift up these flaps, set your bullet time handle on the ground, and then run around your 1X. Overall, if you want to make awesome bullet time videos or tiny planet videos, then definitely get the bullet time handle. I previously would use the suction cup mount to put the 1X on top of my car, but now I just use the Bushman Popeye. The Bushman Popeye is a really strong magnetic mount. It has a pull force of 45 kg. And I'm also using the Bushman 1/4" spacer to push the 1X away from the magnetic mount so I get a better field of view in the video. Here is an example video I made with the 1X 1/4" spacer and the Popeye. I also use the Bushman Popeye in the city when I'm not allowed to put a monopod down on the ground. I'll just put the selfie stick onto the Popeye and then find a metal lamppost or a metal bench or anything else that's magnetic and just stick it on there, and I know that the 1X is going nowhere. The Popeye fully stuck onto something magnetic is less likely to fall over than a monopod with counterweights. Overall, if you want to make car videos or you're in a place where you're not allowed to put down a monopod, then I highly recommend the Bushman Popeye. The 1X is not waterproof, so if you're going to be anywhere near water, then you need to consider the venture case for the 1X. And if you're going to be in dusty or dirty environments, then you should also consider the venture case. The good news is that the venture case is completely invisible in the final stitch. You can submerge the venture case up to 5 meters underwater, but it will not give you a seamless stitch line. If you want a seamless stitch line underwater, then you need to use the dive case and not the venture case. Now, I personally don't use the venture case very much because it adds a lot of bulk to the end of the selfie stick. It makes it more heavy. There are so many bits, so it takes some time to assemble. The microphones are blocked because it's inside a case, so you won't get any sound. Overall, if you're going to use your 1X near water or in dirty or dusty environments, then I highly recommend that you get the venture case because you need to protect your 1X, and also the bottom of the 1X is fully exposed, like the SD card slot, and you want to make sure that's covered. If you are into extreme action sports, then you need to consider some extra protection to stop the bottom of your 1X from breaking. This mount cannot take an extreme amount of force or vibrations. It will break. So you need to consider getting the Ulanzi frame cage so you can get a much stronger mounting point than the 1X one itself. Now, I use the Ulanzi frame cage for a completely different reason. So on my frame cage, you can see that I have taped a wire, and the wire is basically running across the stitch line. And as we know, anything that sits on the stitch line will be invisible. So when I tape an object to the end of this wire, it will appear as if it's floating. So let me show you an example video of this effect. Overall, if you want to protect your 1X mounting point from breaking, or you want to make some funky videos, then I highly recommend the Ulanzi frame cage. If you struggle to read the screen in bright sunny weather conditions, or you want to record GPS data without using your phone, then you're going to need the Insta360 GPS smart remote. This is basically a voodoo doll of the 1X, so let me explain. This screen is the equivalent of this screen, this button is the equivalent of this button, and this button is the equivalent of this button. So normally when I turn on the 1X, I would hold down this button. So I'll hold down this button on the GPS remote, and now the GPS remote will boot up and the 1X will boot up as well. The remote screen is very bright, so it's much easier to read in bright sunny weather conditions. On top, you can see the status of the GPS. I am indoors, so it will struggle to pick up GPS, but this screen is basically a copy of the 1X screen. It has the exact same functionality. So I'm going to cycle through the options. So now I'm in video mode, settings mode, and in photo mode. And I can also remotely turn off the 1X by holding down the bottom button, and now the GPS remote and 1X will turn off together. So if you want the ability to remote control your 1X or record GPS data without your phone, or be able to read the screen in bright sunny weather conditions, then I highly recommend the Insta360 GPS smart remote. Sometimes when it's quite windy or you're in a crowded place, it's quite frightening to leave your 1X on a monopod and walk away from it. You feel like something or someone is going to knock it over. So I would prefer to use something more assuring than a monopod. So I will use the strongest clamp in the industry, and that is the Manfrotto super clamp. It is quite heavy, but it's also very robust, and inside the clamp is a Manfrotto mounting stud, and this mounting stud has a 1/4 inch screw on top, and you put this into the clamp, tighten it up, put the invisible selfie stick on top with the 1X, and then you can tighten the clamp onto a tube or railing. Here is an example time-lapse video I made with the Manfrotto super clamp and invisible selfie stick on a fairly windy day. if you want to film yourself hands-free from a third-person view, as if a cameraman is following you, then the best accessory to get is the Insta360 Back Bar. You can do some clever things like put the mount under your clothes so it's completely invisible, and right now I can't breathe because I put it on so tight. And yes, people will look at you in public, it might be a little bit embarrassing, but hey, just do it for the gram. Now if you want to, you can change the belt the other way around so you can film yourself from the back. There is a screw here so you can change the direction the stick is facing, and then you can screw it back to tighten it and keep it in that position. Overall, if you want to film yourself from a third-person view without having a cameraman with you, then you need to get the Insta360 Back Bar. If you're going to be holding on to handlebars like on a jet ski, a bicycle, electric scooter, or maybe even a roller coaster, then the wrist mount will be ideal. Because your arms will be in front of you like this and your hands won't be moving that much, the One X will clearly get the view in front of you as well as your facial reaction as well. And you will be hands-free to concentrate on whatever you're doing. It is adjustable, so if you want to change the position of the One X, you can push this clip in. I can rotate the One X, lock the clip again, and now it won't move. So overall, if you want to see yourself having fun as well as getting the view in front of you, then I highly recommend the wrist mount. It's much less bulk than a Manfrotto super clamp or the Insta360 Back Bar. Now with any of the Insta360 mounts, you will get this plastic adapter. Now unfortunately, this plastic adapter is not very good. They break really easily. So I highly recommend that you replace these plastic adapters with these aluminium ones. And I'll put a link in the video description to where you can get them. If you want to mount the One X on the inside of your car, especially on the window, then you should use the Delkin Fat Gecko single suction cup mount. All you need to do is mount your One X on top, and then you press this suction cup against the window, push down on this button and lift up the lever, and now your One X is now secured on your car window. Overall, this is the best suction cup that I've ever used. It's never fallen off, so it's really reliable. But if you are going to use it in extreme hot and cold conditions, then definitely test it first before you actually mount your One X on it. If you want to capture a casual bike ride, then you should consider the Insta360 bike bundle. It is very small and light, but it does take some time to set up because there is a lot of unscrewing and screwing involved. I wouldn't recommend using a selfie stick with this because I think it would snap under the pressure of the weight. So just use the One X and you'll be able to capture your bike ride. Overall, if you want a small and secure bike mount for your casual bike rides, then get the Insta360 bike bundle. If you are a nature lover and you love to go on walks and hiking in the wilderness, then you might want to consider the ground spike by Bushman. It has a 1/4" screw so you can attach it to the bottom of your One X or to your selfie stick as well. Jab it into the ground and you now have an outdoor shot without any monopod legs. So there's much less editing work to do. So this would be really cool to get a ground level shot, maybe of your pet's point of view in the garden. Overall, if you're someone that loves to shoot outdoors and you want to spend less time in post editing out monopod legs, then definitely get the ground spike. Another way to get a first person view video is to use the chest mount. And I'm also using the extension rod which I got from the bike bundle to push the One X away from my body so I get a better field of view in my video. The chest mount is best for capturing what's in front of you. It's not as good as the back bar for capturing a third person view, so looking back at yourself, because it's just way too close to my chest. So I'm going to see myself like looking up to my face, which isn't going to be a pleasant angle. Overall, if you want to film a 180-degree first person view video, then use the Insta360 chest mount. If you want to capture a first person view video where you're not in the shot and you just want to capture your surroundings, then there are two different head mount options. This one looks like a hat which you would use for casual walking, traveling or vlogging, and this one is a much more secure head mount for action sports. It has a chin strap to make sure that the One X will not fly off your head. With either of these mounts, you will see your head when you look behind in the footage. So overall, use this mount with the chin strap for action sports and use this hat mount for more casual stuff. That's it for this video. If you found it useful, then please like this video, subscribe for more awesome 360 related videos, and I'll see you in the next one.